The Hugh Jackman Diaries.
So it was finally happening. I was about to present me Desert Island discs there on BS, or SOB, or SOS, whatever it was called. A hush descended on the city. I could feel it in me arse. It was one total kick-ass hush. I cleared me throat. "Let's begin," I said, and paused for effect, during which I had enough time for a few more swigs of the old booze in the soft drink bottle, and to have a slash in the bin in the corner of the studio. I leaned into the microphone and began presenting me Desert Island discs. The first disc on me Desert Island is the album I'd listen to before each and every performance of The Boy from Oz. I'd get into the zone each night by putting on some primo Scandinavian metal, namely Children of Bodom's Hate Crew Death Roll album. How I'd get into the zone would be like this. While everyone else would gather together to do some vocal exercises and try to focus, I'd lock myself into the adjoining closet, put Hate Crew Death Roll into me Discman, turn it up full volume, then center myself and become one with the universe by screaming at the top of me lungs and thrashing around wildly, banging on the walls of the closet. I'd listen to the whole album that way. Drenched in sweat and blood, I'd come back out. The cast and crew would stop and stare at me, impressed by my stamina and awesomeness. I never told them what I was doing. All they ever heard was me screaming and thrashing for an hour each night. Then I'd step out on stage and blow people's tiny minds with the raw, uncompromising power of The Boy from Oz, all courtesy of the Hate Crew Death Roll album. Me next Desert Island disc is also Children of Bodom's Hate Crew Death Roll album. You'd need another copy of the album on the island just in case the first one gets damaged by a fallen papaya or something, or in case some deadbeat like Edward Norton or that doofus from Kenny finds their way on the island. If someone like that found their way onto me island, make no mistake, I'd be left with no choice but to defend myself by piffing discs at their head. I've always found Scandinavian metal discs to be best for piffing at heads. Just ask the Focus Series Environmental Park for proof of that. Next up on me Desert Island discs is the Chartreuse Sessions. You've probably never heard of the Chartreuse Sessions. It was a demo by my band, Gadinsky's Todger. Gadinsky's Todger was comprised of me on singing and dancing, me mate Stefan Dennis on drums, Peter Landy on other drums, Bryce Courtney on more drums, and George Negus on brass. He didn't actually play any brass instruments. He just put a trumpet on the ground and bashed the shit out of it with a French horn. We also had Maggie T in the band. She played Erskineville Kings. I know you're thinking, Erskineville Kings isn't an instrument. It's a gritty and emotionally wrenching film that took the world by storm in 1999, starring me, Hugh Jackman. But we used it as an instrument. That's how freaking versatile me and my films are. We had Maggie T put a video of the film on, then hold the TV up to the mic, moving it real close to the mic during emotional moments in the music. She was a virtuoso Erskineville Kings player. We booked a studio and recorded the Chartreuse Sessions in one quick 6-month session. Each day in the studio we'd drink chartreuse until we passed out. We'd record the sound of us passing out, then loop it. That would form the basis of all of our songs, although we only ever recorded one song. It was called Any Minute Now Hugh Jackman's Going to Come and Kick Your Ass. They were the only lyrics in it too. It was political. It was a concept song that went for 3.5 hours. We only ever had one gig, supporting Jet, before they got their break. The place was full of industry goons. No joke, the guy at the mixing desk said that we were so much better than Jet. The only reason they got signed and we didn't was because everyone assumed we already had a deal. We were such a tight unit live. We confronted people with beauty and truth, like the way I would get me old fella out and piss on people in the front row. Like I say, political. Gadinsky's Todger broke up soon after that. Emotional and creative burnout, coupled with the demands of touring. Then I played the demo for the listeners, all 3.5 hours of it. That gave me a chance to polish off the booze in the soft drink bottle. Meanwhile, a crowd had gathered outside the studio. Guys in suits, security dudes, all the SBS crew. They were wide-eyed with excitement to see me, screaming to let them into the studio. I'm used to that kind of hysteria. That's why I prepared for it by moving the cabinets, CD racks and chairs in front of the studio door. I gave them a wave, then jumped up on the desk and did a bit of a dance number for them, to the accompaniment of Gadinsky's Todger. I slipped and fell to the floor, pissing myself laughing all the way. I still had my legs in the air, doing all the dance moves. It was seamless. I didn't miss a beat. I doubt they even would have noticed I was lying on my back on the studio floor. I stood up. Then I fell over again, into the bin in the corner. The piss I'd deposited in there earlier spilled over me, but that didn't matter because it mixed with a half-drunk strawberry Big M. The strawberry and piss combo certainly wasn't unpleasant. I love strawberry. In good humour, I flipped everyone the bird and went back to the mic. "Welcome back to Hugh Jackman's Desert Island Discs," I said. "Now would be a good time to tell you about me Desert Island. It'd be the best desert island in the land. It'd have all this cool shit, unlike Ewan McGregor's Desert Island. English ponce, that would just be full of leprechauns doing some Shakespeare shit. My one would have the best sound system with some serious freaking subs pumping out me Desert Island discs all day long. Everyone would be wasted. We'd party and piff rocks at Pelicans and shit like that. The pool would be in the shape of me left nut. The trains there would just be made of train roofs. so it would be compulsory for all passengers to be train surfing all the time. Everyone could come and hang out, but at the end of the day, I'd kick their ass. At that point, the SOB crew forced their way into the studio. There was pandemonium. Me Desert Island Discs had clearly brought up a lot of emotion in people. I was mobbed, covered in strawberry Big M, and me own piss. Someone there had had the good sense to organise a police escort for me out of there. Just as the boys in blue were escorting me to safety, I managed to scream from down the hall into the mic. Thanks for listening, everyone. May these Desert Island Discs continue to inspire you, just as they've inspired me, the one and only, Hugh Jackman.
The Hugh Jackman Diaries.